Not as retarded as I thought I was. Nobody knows. There we go. Let's get in there. Hey, Mahoney's up. Sporting Camp's in the house. I feel like I finally got this live thing figured out after 50 of them. Grisham's in the house. What's up, Grish? Hey, I wasn't trying to get you to get rid of your comment, man. I was just saying I get black pilled so easily, so I was like, hey, let's. I'm trying to keep it white pilled today, which is difficult. I should have added a title to this. Can I still do it? Edit the video. Am I able to do that yet? See if that'll work. Shell's in the house. Let's see. Triton's in the house. Trying to get back to the comments here. Hey, I put a title on there. I have a topic today. Disastrous effect is in the house. 20 watching. Okay. Sounds like we're rolling. Grey culo. Grey culo. So I have a topic today. I put out an AI video that posts tomorrow. I'm way behind on my videos. I only have one video scheduled for this coming week, so I've got to shoot like 3 videos today. Hey, Scouts in the house. They're Buschenmacher. Can't see a title. Well, I have one, Buschenmacher, okay? Did you get your 1022? I'm still waiting. There's like a 2-week waiting period or 10 days or something. Short live. Mike's got work to do. Yeah. 3 videos to shoot. Yeah. I need a good hour to warm up out here, and then I don't mean physically, I mean just like mentally get kind of roll into it, and then once I start shooting, I can shoot like 5 videos in 3 hours. But it's nice when the info guide helps me as a widowed actively homesteading 68-year-old. Thanks for any guidance to be better prepped. Been into it since 2008. Nice. Hey, Tactical Muffin Tops in the house. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, maybe the title will refresh after I post it. Buschenmacher says, "Oh yeah, I forgot. You have a bunch more crap in your legislative branch." What does that mean? Laws coming down the pike? Yeah, probably. I was hoping we could talk about like pivot plans for AI, the next few years. I want some more ideas. I mean, I have some ideas, but what are we gonna do for money? Yeah. Oh, pivoting. Are any of you your business owners? Like, do any of you own your own business? Where's my camera? It's this side, right? Yeah. Go Bears. Mike Bear down. Plumber. I don't know. Buschenmacher. In that video I talked about the hands. They're coming for plumbers too. Oh, they'll just bypass plumbing. 82 Sharp remodeling. Yeah. Small business on the side, IT. Pretty sure I'm fooked. Buchenmacher, I'm a gunsmith, make less at home. Make less than a home, yeah. Grish says, I was thinking a way to keep earning money from now on is to train people to run in sewers, to dig holes in the mountain and to make your own sticks and stones. Here's how to carve a spear. What about an AI prep bag? I like that idea. What would go in it, though? Buchenmacher says, I make less than a homeless person. Yeah. Tactical Muffin Top says, I would shift to some manual trade, no medical, pay off all debt, next 3 years, grind, make it happen. Yeah, kind of. You know what medical I was thinking of, though, was paramedics. I think paramedics will stay human for a while. Like the on scene, definitely medical, like once you get back to the hospital, I think all that, most of it, with the exception of maybe nursing, like the touch points, nursing and like the medical response. Firefighters, I thought they were safe, but they're gone for sure. That's going robots for sure. Mark's Adventures in the house. What's up, man? .3AD Scout says, think about AI from the art of war perspective. Do tell, sir. Buchenmacher says an EMP device. Yeah, yeah. I mean, without going full full John Connor. Yeah. I'm not having a Terminator. Did you guys see? I don't know if it's real. There's footage that came out of China that showed their cop robot. They literally named it the T-800. Like it says it across the chest. And it was doing like these flying roundhouse kicks, and people were like, that's fake. And then they released more footage that shows that it might be real. Who knows anymore? Either way. Firewood is a good side hustle. Loincloths, maybe. Who does leather? Is it Buchenmacher? Is that you? Maybe you can start making loincloths and we can just go into the woods. That's where I'll go. LC, yeah, Lance Corporal, Lieutenant Corporal. I said Lieutenant Corporal. Look at the latest Musk interview. He is focused on removing medical from the work environment. Yeah. Well, at least the Chinese have a sense of humor. I know. At least he's doing roundhouse kicks, right? Replace Chuck Norris. Modern Frontiersman makes leather. Yeah. Terminator 2 is a documentary. How about prepper clothing? Yeah. Like I said, the that guy that asked his, I talk about it in that last video, or the video that posts tomorrow, where he asked his grandfather who was in the Depression, he goes, we just didn't buy anything. Like if you don't have any money, you don't buy anything. So having the stuff you need for at least a decade, like a decade's worth of boots and a decade's worth of pants and I don't know. New York has banned fire burning for heat in new homes. Of course they have. Yeah, Buchenmacher does leather, that's right. I don't think I'm gonna do loincloths. Make me one. Make me one loincloth that says like Mike Tango whiskey right across the front of the loincloth, where it draws everybody's attention. Like, so is pouring water on it not an option? I don't know. The new Atlas 2. So the Atlas at the CES this year is waterproof. So it's IP67, which is like the same as our flashlights, I think. Maybe not submerged in water. I'd be interested to see how they do in water. Maybe that's the trick is moats. We just put moats, but then they'll just fly. They'll just send in drones. Yeah, we might be just totally screwed. What'd you say, Buchenmacher? Fooked? Well, we might be fooked. Freedom, no fire, burning hard, not to be blackpilled. Yeah. Buchenmacher says he will make me a loincloth if I promise to model it on air. Can I get like 3 months to get in shape? And then I'll model it. I'll be like, I'll do a post. I'll go into the woods and wear the loincloth around a fire and then take a picture. It'll be like, what I want it to look like is like from the Northmen when they were like acting like wolves around the fire, but it'll be more like Castaway when he first started the fire, like his shape then. That'll probably be closer to that, but make sure you bite. Guns and Buns says he thought my fitness video was on point. Yeah, thank you. You know, That can be your thumbnail. That would be a great video. That would be great. Should I promise that live on air? Bushenmacher, if you send me a loincloth, because I already have an idea for that video. I keep saying we're going to have to go into the woods. That's a great way to introduce the idea of revolting against. Hey, Z-Man Band, paying my bills. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Mahoney says, did anybody tell the Amish about AI? Yeah, so that's a good point, right? I listened to a guy that said there's going to be 4 groups of people. A group that kind of, the Luddites, we just kind of revolt and go back to the primitive human ways, like we just kind of go back into the woods. Or full adopters where they do something like Inception, where you're just always plugged into an alternate, because there'll be no purpose or hope for humanity, so we will have to plug in to get that purpose and hope from a false environment, which is also terrifying. Yeah, but you think about the Amish, like those communities, are they adapting? So our choice is either to adapt or to revolt or kind of revert back, right? How long can you flirt with that on the fence line? How long can you do both? I don't know. God's Hammer says a tactical loincloth, laser cut Molly, and the works. Yeah. Amish are the original preppers. Be sure to paint your skin blue for the loincloth He-Man look, though. Yeah. I'll fast for like 3 weeks. Then I'll be cut. That would make a great thumbnail. I mean, if any of you had to pivot, some of you are already like off grid and doing those kind of things, but if any of you had to pivot, what would you do to earn an income? And could you earn enough to make an income? Bushenmacher says, I try and keep in touch with them. Oh, the Amish, yeah, they have skills. There's only people they're the only people who will do any kind of manual labor. Yep. Amish or Mennonites, make it red leather. Yeah, we were good friends with the Hutterite colony in Montana when I was stationed there near Great Falls. And they still do the trades, right? So they have they had a shop. They had a like a mechanic shop, they had a carpentry shop, they had a welding shop, they had an engine shop, like, and the young men would choose a trade and they would do those trades for a certain amount of time and kind of get really good at that thing. And it was great. I loved it. Hey, Noah's in the house. What's up, Noah? Bushenmacher says, send me your waist size so I can make the belt. Well, I wear 34 pants. I'm probably closer to a 33, but make it 32. So that will inspire me to lose the weight that I have to look decent in it when I model a loincloth. I can't believe I promised that. Now you guys are going to be bugging me about it. Hey, where's the loincloth thumbnail? Noah says he's outside enjoying the sun and clear sky. Yeah, congratulations, Noah. It's not that bad here, actually. Grish says, if I ever get in shape again or lose a ton of weight, I might pivot into nature guide. Yeah, I don't think bots will take over that part as long as people want to walk. Practical Prep uses loincloths. Thought we were talking about AI. We are talking about AI. The only choice is to go into the woods while you're wearing a loincloth. That is about AI. It's giving up and running the other way. So here's some guesses that I have on trends. So you remember during the shutdown, what became very popular? People suddenly got into the outdoors. It was brief. It was only for like a year or two. Like the bike industry exploded. Now they have a backlog of inventory because they assumed that would stay that way. But once people don't have jobs and they're sitting at home and maybe making UBI, or I think the outdoors is going to become popular again. I think people are going to shift to hiking, walking, biking, all of the things. Berserko 1194 says 125 years ago, what we call prepping, people called living. No, that's true. People didn't live as long though, but yeah. Luis Suarez is in the house. What's up? What's up, Luis? Let me guess. The plan for AI is to collect more copper. How dare you? Yes, by the way. You ever flicked a penny like this? You ever been hit with a penny when someone does that thing like that? That's gonna be the way we fight the AI, like in grade school. I worked for a boat manufacturer and they sold a ton during COVID. Yeah. Homesteading. Yeah, I think so. Getting some personal goals, getting out of debt. Jacoby's in the house. What's up, man? Growing more food, like becoming more self-sustainable, right? Along with that grandfather's advice of not buying anything. We're so used to just buying everything we need. I think reverting back and starting to prep in that way, like, hey, if I don't, can we go a week without buying anything, or a month or 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is without buying anything? Chris from Wasteland by Wednesday talks about this. He talks about, I forget what he called it. You act like the collapse has already happened. So you find a way to make money. You find a way to make money as if the collapse has already taken place. And you do it now. So you're just ready. So it's not that hard of a transition. Homestead Twins, Mike, did you get your UV5R unlocked? I unlocked one of them. And I haven't played with it since I did that, but I did do one of them. Another pivot can to become a glass marble maker. Sand is probably gotten everywhere anyway, and it makes good ammo against the bots in your potato shooter. What are you smoking, Grish? What are you talking about? Backroads officials in the house. What's up, man? Yeah, if you had 4 people growing different foods and growing one livestock, different, and trade it all. Yeah. Bushan Mocker says blacksmithing, trading eggs for sourdough. Yep. My goals are selling eggs and honey, liquid gold. That's a good idea. Bees, how expensive is it to get bees? Mahoney says shut your main power off to see how long you last. Yeah, I think, so a world with AI, I think we'll probably still have power, but like the more off-grid you are, I think the closer to the mark that you're going to be. Personally, like the idea of living more simply is attractive to me, but not doing it while we're, slaves to the T800. But AI is scary as heck. Yeah, you're right. Not expensive at all for bees. You can go out and find a swarm in spring. But I'm scared of getting stung. What do I do about that? You're like, man up and do it, dude. Bees are about $200 for a nuke, plus equipment such as hive bodies, frames, etc. AI needs massive amounts of power. Grish says the problem in living here is an apartment is not really great for homesteading. Bees is what my dad does. It can be costly, but if you're lucky and the bees you get don't die, you can make some spare cash. Bees take a lot of teaching, though. Regardless of how small your yard is, grow food for the experience at least. Then you can sell it when, yeah. I'm trying to triple down this year on my garden. My wife had a successful garden. We only have like 2 boxes, but AI can shut down power, internet, even new vehicles. Yeah. Grisham says courses to learn it. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Grish. Mark says, I intend to move away from freezers towards canning and be less grid electric reliant. Can Terminator really happen? I know it's a movie, but can it really happen to us? Yeah, because the machines will never, can they empathize? Can they mimic empathy? Will it ever be real empathy, real connection? That's my fear, is that like in society, who are the people that we're scared of? We're scared of the sociopaths a little bit, and then we're really scared of the psychopaths, the people that really don't have any thought about, and to me that all robots are going to be psychopaths, aren't they? They would have to be, since they can't feel on the level that we would need them to. That's a video title. All robots are going to be psychopaths. All robots are psychopaths. Nobody steal that, please. Yeah, Buchenmacher, simplifying as much as you can, thinking, do I really need this or do I just want it? Mr. 45, all the ways in the house. What's up? Grish says, talking about bees, those Asian hornets are a big problem. No pun intended. Those suckers are like that big. It's been confirmed in Washington, Oregon, Wyoming, and Indiana. Guns and Buns says, I saw a robot dog with an attached flamethrower for sale during Black Friday. That's T800 enough for me as AI gets into it. Yeah. Sporting camp, yes. Direct energy weapons. Trying to convince my wife to get a freeze dry. Canning takes up a ton of room. Yeah, canning jars take up a ton of room. They sure do. Buchenmacher says once AI goes into military use, all the three rules of robots go out. 3 rules go out the window. Yeah, and the stuff on my that I've been talking about is just like commercial and corporate. That's not even getting into industrial, or not industrial, but military. The military application of AI, that's where it's really, really scary. Like if you go, when you get a chance, if anybody's interested, go to Palantir. Palantir has a commercial out on YouTube that talks about the future of warfare, where these drone swarms are released from ships, and they just like they're like all kamikaze, and they stop threats before they even become a. It's terrifying. Empathetic, bloody PT. Yeah. Buchenmacher says, I sold my Jeep. I'm in the process of selling several of my vehicles that are just sitting around too. Backroads Official says, ads on Marketplace for people renting their freeze dryers. I've seen ads for $30 to $50 per 24 hours. It's not a bad deal. Yeah, cut the red wire, right? Yeah, AI, cut the red wire. Make sure you cut the red wire. My uncle is my postmaster in the county. They got a letter the other day describing the essential workers from the same thing they released right after. I saw that letter. I saw the letter to the postman. Talking about restriction of movement, that they need to carry that letter with them in their badge to make sure that they're allowed to move still. Robert 4027 says, I found some bleach tablets at my local Walmart. I cleared the shelf. Good for you. AI and techno dystopia is not a threat to anyone if the grid is down long term. Just saying. Yeah. Cut all the wires at the exact same time. Yeah. Like in the movies. Those are 2 of my favorite things from movies. Bomb disarming, where you disarm, you cut the wires, which is, it's just total fantasy. And then also Hollywood CPR, where you go like this, live, damn it, live, and you punch on their chest. Those are 2. Oh, and then the neck breaking thing from the 80s, where they go and they break people's necks like that. Those are my 3 favorite Hollywood myths. Backroads Official says pre-96 vehicles are mostly mechanical. Yeah. 96 is when OBD began on most vehicles. Pool shock is better than bleach. Bleach actually expires. Yeah, it doesn't set up its own power. Yeah, the Atlas 2, or the Atlas robot that they just debuted at CES, has 2 batteries on its back, but it can turn around, so its head can pivot all the way and its arms can pivot back, and it can change its own battery. Buchenmacher, what are you talking about pool shock for? Is that for water? Hey, Civi Preps in the house. Surviving the Civil War or Skynet? Skynet, yeah. We're talking about pivoting to survive and potentially thrive during the AI crap coming. When does Google become self-aware? Yeah. Scottish prepper. I feel like I'm saying prepper wrong. Scottish prepper. What's up, man? Jacoby says, we use AI cameras in the local coal mines that I work to detection levels. They're easy to teach. It's gotten easier for us to teach it with detections we want it to see. Crazy how 7 months ago it wasn't even a thing. Yeah. Water purification. So pool shock for water purification, that's a good idea. Do you have plans for a channel Discord? Discord channel? No. It's can I set up moderators on a Discord channel? Because the idea of checking another social media platform is probably beyond my scope. I would never check it, and I would feel bad. Google's already self-aware. Scottish says it's not the worst accent, dude. I've been watching your guys' lives, and I've been saying everything you guys say to practice my Scottish. Scottish. What's a good thing? Good. Mark's in the house. Papa Prep 45 is in the house. What's up, man? I can set up, you can set up Discord moderators. We have 400 in ours. Really? What goes on in there? Isn't that how you end up in jail, is by starting a Discord and then feds get in there and make everybody commit crimes? And Jimmy Degrees says, that's the catch-22. Do we want to be slaves to oligarchs running a tech surveillance state, or take our chances with grid down Mad Max? I vote Mad Max. Why do they have to have AI on our phones when we don't want it? OTS, my phone. Why can't I make my own decisions? Yeah. Comms, preps, ideas, news, general chit chat, to be honest. Maybe I'll do a Discord. It's just like, I feel a lot of my time is taken up just with the comments on my videos. And I hate to let that go. I feel like if I was splitting my response time between another social media thing, it would just be. Civi Prep says, going back to flip phones. I'm going to go back to carrier pigeons. Get some pigeons and some bees. Do pigeons eat bees? That might screw me over, huh? Okay, Scottish, I will. You pop into your Discord? I'd love to do that. Where do I find, like, I go to your website for or your page for the thing? Mark says he refuses to update his iPhone. Won't all of your apps stop working eventually? Yeah, more about having a place for your community to talk to rather than to talk to you. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, so I wouldn't be expected, like, I feel like I'm expected to be in the comments here, you know, on my videos, interacting with folks. But on the Discord, is that not the expectation, or it's less anyway? Like, if I pop in there, it'll be like, hey, and then I can not come back for a week. Backroads Official says, if you're using an Android phone, install Graphene OS, no Google, no tracking, unhackable. I shall then go to Linux-based coded phone. I have a Google phone. I use an iPhone, but maybe I should get a Google phone. Backroads Official says, my iPhone is on iOS 26, no AI on mine. Civi Prep is about to build a cabin out of logs with my hands and live off squirrels and survive the AI apocalypse. Are you really? You bought land, didn't you? Thought you bought some land. Oh, yeah. Yeah, scary times. Android phones have a horrible camera for video. Well, maybe I'll just use my iPhone for like YouTube and then switch to the other one for my regular one. Scottish Pepper says we just got out a 2-hour live. Yeah, I was in there. $10 Nokia that still has a snake on it, can use 10 numbers only. Seems more plausible. Yeah, I heard you guys were talking primarily about Greenland, which was interesting to listen to you guys talk about it because you're all over there, you know? Like I heard that one guy saying, I forget which dude it was, he was on the bottom left, talking about, you know, America First is great until it starts, like you're, you know, kicking the doors of other countries. Like eventually America First will start causing problems for other people. That was pretty interesting. It was a good perspective. Yeah, Trump's going all Alan, yeah. Trump is like, yeehaw! Yeah, it seems like he's making up for his last term. I remember some people were telling me before Venezuela, they were like, well, Trump's the only president never to start a war. And I was like, I don't know. Backroads Official, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I saw those. Aren't they like $500 though? But I like the size of it though. You can carry it anywhere. I do like that. Hero of Canton's in the house. What's up, man? I have a log cabin that was built in the early 1900s, built on a solid foundation. Possibilities are endless. How much land do you have? Vlog Monsters in the house. What's up, man? It's a worry, to be honest. Governments don't like uncertainty and do stupid shite when they get surprises. Yeah, just putting everybody on edge, you know? I remember that from the first term, where it was kind of exhausting. Like every week there was some new, like, wait, what is happening? What? Yeah. New Hampshire guy just became a member. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Have you seen the new $20 blue and bronze Walmart Ozark What? No. Bronze, blue and bronze Walmart Ozark knife. Let's see, $20. They've got me already. Backroads Official says on Marketplace he bought an Osmo Pocket 3 for $200 with all accessories. Jacoby says, did you hear they used some new weapon to cause nosebleeds and vomiting blood when they went for Maduro? I did hear that. So what I heard was EMP for blackout, and then some mysterious like microwave weapon or something, some blood. Yeah. At first I thought people were like exploding from the inside out. Yeah, some secret weapon crap. Scottish Pepper says, right, I best get some sleep up for Whirly. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by, Scottish. Where do I find your Discord? Oh, I go to your page for your Discord. Curious nobody's in the house. What is up? New Hampshire Guide says the weapon is ULF audio. So it's like a sonic weapon. It's like Dune. Direct energy weapon. Yeah. I heard the sonic weapon they use caused nosebleeds was Tim Walsh's voice. Noise cannons to disrupt the senses. All right, Mark. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Have I seen The World Left Behind? Yeah. Leave the World Behind. I've seen that. You know what I didn't like about that movie? Number one, how easily that prepper gave up his medication. Number two, they never explained the deer. Like the deer were acting weird because there was a nuclear war. I didn't want to watch it a second time either. City says that's yeah. Buchenmacher says not a secret at all. Direct energy sonic weapons have been around for a while. Yeah. I wonder, like, what was the form factor there? Were they from a ship, or they have like man portable units? I wonder, because I've seen like microwave weapons from ships where it's like a laser, and sonic weapons. I wonder how small they are. Are they like mounted on a tripod? Like how do they deploy them? The movie Civil was crap. Civil War, is that what you're saying? Civil War was crap? Yeah, that's what I heard too. Police have them on trucks. Yeah, on the back of, it's like a, looks like a drum, right? I think I've seen those. I was thinking drones, or maybe they used them on a chopper. Get to the chopper. Papa Prep says, as a Minnesotan, I can confirm that Tim Walz's voice is a weapon. Oh. I bet they were mounted on their new Hummer replacement. So Jimmy Degree says it's LRAD. It can be portable. They use it for moderate settings for crowd control, but I guess they took it up to 11. Like, what was that? The original Hulk movie with Edward Norton when they used those sonic weapons against him? That was like 20 years ago. Yeah. So no income in 3 years. Me and my wife were talking about like pivoting with an online business, kind of branching off of her retail store, catering to rich people, because there will still be rich people. Rich people will be richer. So if you solve rich people problems, you can make money. Look at the VRAD, help develop and build it. Guns and Buns, you helped develop the VRAD? Mark's Adventure says UK at UKPN. Is that Scottish Preppers Discord there, Mark? The cannons were mounted on UH-60s. Rich people are the best customers, yeah. Just become a pirate. You already have the beard. Maybe, I don't know. Buchenmacher says, what is your wife's retail business? I don't want to get too specific. It's like the hair industry. But yeah, selling online, you know, there's a lot of tools out there now, AI, that can help you build sites really quickly. But there's some stuff that some parts of the hair care industry that are very high margins, and I'm thinking of like focusing on those and doing it online. Human made will be the new organic. That's right. Yeah, I predict the same thing. Grisham says it's also time to start gathering paper books on all specs of life against AI, from homesteading to history, how ancient Romans did stuff, how to build stuff. Please put that blade away, man. Don't tell me what to do, curious. Hurts so much. You should be incoming this week. You talking about the package you sent me? I appreciate it. UK Urban Preppers in the house. What's up? Curious. Nobody says 10-4. Oh, 10-4. Okay. Have the wife start an Etsy store. A lot of people using Etsy and making money. Well, she already has a retail store, but not a huge online presence. So I'm just thinking of taking her highest margin item and then cranking it up to 10, selling it to rich people strictly online. That way I can get my kids involved. I can't in good conscience tell my kids, hey, go to college in 10 years, because so I'm going to have to start another business and kind of get them involved now. Also came up with a name based on LRAD, Vortex Ring Accelerator Deterrent. Surprised people haven't figured out how to win the lottery using AI. Oh, that's a good, that's a great application. I love that. Civi Prep says TikTok is great marketing for rich housewives. Duly noted, sir. Thank you. Jacoby says, I've made a general library with a search feature with all the military PDF forms, paper copies of documents, and it's offline in a Faraday bags, portable. Man, check you out. KJF says, what state are you in? I am in Washington State. Battery bank. Dr. Awkward says, look up the book, How to Invent Everything. Interesting read from the viewpoint of a time traveler lost at a random point in the past. Choose an era and start inventing things. Yeah. Any manual skills are going to be good for the children going forward if businesses can be something. Yeah. Sometime you should just show up in a Yukon Cornelius outfit. It'd be a hoot. I've done it a couple times, pretty close. I have a red hat over there, and I had a blue jacket. Manual labor skills will be in demand in the next 2 decades. I don't know, man. They're going after manual labor too. The video that comes out tomorrow, I talk about CES and the hands. They spent a lot of time and money on robot hands, and those robot hands are able to do pretty dang close to everything we can do. I wouldn't bank on those. I don't think we have 10 years in the labor skills anymore. I think 2 years for white collar, maybe 5 years for blue collar before all of it's gone, or most of it. It's depressing. Just go into the woods. I'm learning welding this year. Yep, great automotive skills, even though I'm white collar working in a people skills industry. Yeah, me too, Civi Prep. Trying to make myself hard to replace with AI. What about custodian that work at a school? Why couldn't that be robots? Late to the show, Ricky B. What's up, Rick B? We're talking about AI, how to pivot in the coming age of AI. I thought too, like if you own land, you could do getaway experiences where you take people back to nature. There's going to be kind of a revolt where you can do no tech experiences, just like a week-long break from all tech, no cell phones, no AI, no nothing, and just kind of live off-grid for a week, sell those experiences to rich people or regular people. You know, $1,000 a pop, $1,000 for a week. So if you had a piece of land, you could make $5,000 a month. If it's in a temperate climate, especially, you could do it year round. Festivals and events where people can get away from AI robots will be premium. I agree. Backroads official says, with the collapse, people will need houses to live, solar to be installed. Yeah, no, I agree, Backroads. I'm talking about before total collapse, like just the next decade where everybody's broke and nobody has a job. That's more what I'm focused on. You know, and we're creeping towards collapse, but I don't think collapse is going to suddenly happen. And even then, we'll still have AI and we'll still have potentially, well, no, that's not true, not post-collapse, but right now AI is the tool and humans are the user. Next couple of years, humans will become the tool and AI will become the user. I agree. Burning Man. I thought about setting up a vetting company that checks websites, etc., enables you to put a not made by AI stamp on their products. That's a good idea, UK Prepper. Like a verification system for human made. I'm telling you, human made tags, it's going to be a thing. Grisham says, not enough land available in my country. Yeah. Kids growing up, you can't just ignore and dig in alone. Yeah. I know, that's where I'm at too. Like, what do I tell my kids, you know? Hey kids, let's move into the woods. That's not going to work. I think most people could disconnect for a week. I don't think most people could disconnect for a week. They can't put their phones down for more than 5 minutes. Okay, then I'll charge $1,000 for 3 days. Digital prison is next. Yeah. Robots already clean Walmart. Yep. Seen the movie Tron last night. It was awesome. Union label to be replaced by human label. That's right. Detecting AI content is getting harder every day. I saw somewhere less than 2 years ago you won't be able to detect. So there's an idea for a business. Maybe a website that only sells handmade products. Like you find and source them and you only sell human products, human-made products. I guess that's kind of Etsy though, right? Even though I see stuff that's not strictly human made on there. But if that was your branding, say everything on this website is handmade by a human. not a child, by a grown human. Civi Prep says, have you considered that AI just wants to be our friend? No, I have not considered that. I will never consider that. I used to do American Civil War reenacting, and it was 3 to 5 days, zero tech and phones. It was bliss. Yeah, yeah. Go Amish. I mean, even if you can't go completely Amish, I know the Amish is numbers. You know, you can join, at least with the Hutterites. You can join a Hutterite colony. You just have to give everything up. Like it's a price that most Westerners are just not willing to pay. I talked to the leader of one of the colonies out in Montana, and I asked him if anybody had ever joined, and he said no. He said one guy almost made it to the end, right up to the point where they said, "Hey, look, you have to give up all your money. All of your money becomes the colony's money." And it's like when Jesus talked to the lawyer. He's like, "What do I have to do to be saved?" He's like, "Oh, just do this." And then he hung his head down and like walked away. He quit. I met a lady on an airplane that goes to Ecuador 4 times a year with empty bags and brings back alpaca products to sell. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We had black powder and bacon. What more does one man need? Nothing. She made mad money. I love the idea of a getaway thing. You have land now, do it. But you have to insist on customers to handwrite and log the experience that they share, that it might help grow the concept. Yeah, that's true. Counter unmanned aerial systems. I've been looking for others to join in buying 22 to 40 acres and build a compound. My friends are too pussified to do it. Wyoming's in the house. I was just thinking about you, sir. I just flashed that picture in my head again. Thanks to you showing up. Do you listen to the Prepared Homestead with Travis? No, I don't. Because I don't have land yet. Once I get land, I can start focusing on homesteading. Oh, 20 to 40 acres. Okay. Yeah, I was like, that's a wide range. 2 to 40 acres? Yeah, 20 acres is about right. So there's a business idea. So let's go. I'm going to do my retail one. Biz. And then, what do we say? Human only website. Human only goods. You know what else I thought? So close, not too far from where I live, there's a guy who buys like sea containers, or I forget where he gets it, but he gets large containers full of thrift store clothes, like used clothing and shoes, and then he buys it by the container load, has it shipped to this huge warehouse he has, and he does bins, kind of like Goodwill does, and he resells all of the clothing per pound. Buys it low, sells it high. But think about in a collapse, or even pre-collapse, like where nobody has a job and nobody has money, nobody's buying anything. Clothing, shoes, sewing, clothing repair, like kind of like thrifting, I think is going to become more and more popular. So maybe mending will become a thing again. Shoe cobbling will become a thing again, where all this cheap clothing is garbage, where good quality made clothing might become a thing again, where you need your pants to last you 8 months, instead of 6 weeks. Travis is such a drama queen, fear monger. I don't know this guy. You can't. I can neither confirm nor deny. Drama queen and a fear monger, huh? Late to the show. Joe Shinpaw's in the house. Is it too early to get garden supplies ready and seed? No, I don't think so. I start planting inside in April? Buchenmacher says finding people to co-own land is difficult. I know. I've thought about the legal structures for going in on a property. People suck, and it's hard. It's hard to have good friends, but much less friends that you can trust in a business deal. Grisham says shoe repairman. Yeah. New York Prepper is great also. We can't all walk on goat woolen socks outside. Goat woolen socks. The food industry is good to be in. Everybody needs to eat. Yeah. Brad Wynn's in the house. How much did I miss? We're talking about pivoting for AI, Brad. Levi's 501s last me a year. Yeah. Just the right time to get supplies for spring and summer garden. Yep. Never too early to order seeds. UK Urban Prepper says, I'll go in with you on a property. We just have to find an island that's halfway between you and me. Yeah, Portugal? Isn't that Portugal? Civi Prep says, my pants don't last after the first time I put them on due to my enormous arse. I thought you were going to say something else there. I was like, he's going to tear a big hole in them every time. I'll wear pants every day that I'm not at work for like a year, and then they start to fall apart. Grand Canary Island, yeah. We could just buy an island. The prepared homestead is good, Mike. Trust me. Okay, I will trust you. Prepared homestead. Well, even if he's a drama queen and he's a fearmonger, so am I. So maybe I'll. Backroads Official says buy einkorn wheat berries. Only wheat that is non-GMO. They store for decades. I just ordered 2 50-pound bags. Civi Prep says the Alaska Islands. You mean like the Aleutian Islands? Pfft. Aleutian Islands are rough, man. The weather out there is brutal. Even like Kodiak Island is. Plus all the bushes are this tall and the bears are this tall. So people get eaten out there. People are doing well reselling used clothing. Yeah, like you can go to Goodwill bins and buy by the pound. I mean, I find there's a lot of young people there buying like cool clothes, like fashionable clothes, but there's not a lot of people there buying quality clothes like boots and jackets and gloves. And Carol's in the house. What's up, Carol? Grisham says we could try to become a sheep herder, and then but then we need land, meat, milk, wool, and of course you learn to make a kilt. Yeah. Ditch Doc's in the house. What's up, Ditch Doc? You are 52 minutes late, sir. Just got home from work, Carol. We're all late. Yep. Civi Prep says, so that's true. So bad weather is perfect. So you can move to Kodiak Island and nobody would bother you. That is true because the weather sucks. UK Prepper says, we're trying for land this year. Approach a landowner as a partnership. You will manage and run a complete survival school. They get a percentage of the business. Me and I have a buddy who's a survival instructor, former, and we've talked about that. Like if I owned land, he could run a survival school on it. Trenchcraft says, I was stationed in the Aleuts for 18 months. It sucked. Yes, the Aleutian chain sucks. Sitka's nice. It's beautiful down there. Carol says, I think Wasteland by Wednesday moved to the desert under the theory that no one else would want to live there. I know, it's not a bad theory. Nobody thinks that. You know, you can't live in the desert. Good, you keep thinking that. Yeah, so I wonder, like if I bought, you can get clothing from Goodwill for about $1 a pound. I think once it's more than 5 or 10 pounds, you pay 69 cents a pound. So then could you turn around and sell it for $5 a pound? Like quadruple your money? You would just have to sort it into pant sizes, you know? Like if everybody's desperate, they're not gonna care like the style of the pants so much. It's like, here's 5 pair of pants that are your size and it's $5 a pound, you know? Which would probably still be cheaper than buying at retail, especially if everybody's broke. All right, UK Prepper, I'll see you later, man. Guns and Buns says, some of the more difficult places to live are only doable due to modern conveniences. Civi Prep says he saw 140 acres of desert for sale for around $100,000. Papa Prep says CES had a robot for that. Yeah, they did. I got excited after watching your thrift videos. I hit up my local Goodwill. Such a disappointment. I'm so sorry. I keep hearing that. They're like, your stores are great. KJF says he will give you a shout out if you talk to him. Is that Prepared Homestead? Has anyone tried starting old seeds with using hydrogen peroxide? What is that? McGoogles is in the house. Do some research on some gloves. Doing some research on some gloves. Curious Nobody says we can go to the Everglades. They've done it before. They just have to learn to kill pythons and gators. Yeah. I don't know if I can do that, man. Backroads Official says fabric stores are all going under. I used to buy bolts of fabric for projects, no longer. And online it's way more expensive because probably because of the shipping. But you're right. So yeah, nobody sews anymore, and the fabric stores are all going under. So yeah, I think there's a business opportunity there for mending clothing. Yeah. No, but I did light up poop. What? Carol says I often go to Goodwill and recycle old clothes into new for projects. Yep. Doing research on some winter gloves like merino wool. What do you think about fingerless gloves? I've got work gloves already. I like fingerless gloves. I mean, I like the ones with the mitten that kind of comes over the top and then Velcro's back. Robert says buying waxed canvas is getting crazy expensive. You know, you can wax your own canvas. You can melt it and make waxed canvas pretty easily with some paraffin wax. It's messy, but it can be done. I've done it with I did a haversack when I thought I was a bushcrafter. I went through a bushcrafting phase. Yeah, Backroad says it's easy to make wax canvas. Yep. Back to the issue of AI, less living. If AI controls electricity, we have to ask, how are we going to deal with that? What's important is resources. Islands have few. You have to consider that. Yeah. A friend of my brother recently bought 400 acres combined. Woo. I have circulation issues. It really helps. Any brand recommendations? I call those bum gloves. Reminds me of old movies where the bums have those fold over mittens. Yeah. 7X Chad says it sounds like a good video idea. Which one? Ugh. Wax canvas loincloths. Hey, I'll do either one. I'll do leather or loin, or maybe like canvas in the back and leather up front. Which way should it be? I don't know what's more appropriate. I love bushcrafting. It's relaxing. That's true. We all go through a bushcrafter phase. Yeah. Oh, wax canvas how to? Yeah. It was pretty easy. I just had a heat gun and some paraffin wax, kind of rubbed it on there and just, I did way too much though. Like it was very, very waxy. And I ruined a couple of my wife's pots and she got pretty pissed. Yesterday, I scored a compression bag that had intermediate cold bag, 2 patrol bags, and a Gore-Tex bivy bag at a thrift store for 20 bucks. What? Nice. Nice job. Some Goodwills are terrible though. They charge more for broken items. Yeah. You have to know how to find quality, which you get good at after a while. I can like walk down an aisle touching the jackets and know right away if it's quality. Same thing with shoes. You tip up the end of, I don't really buy dress shoes anymore, but I used to sell them a lot. You walk by and tip up the toe of a shoe, and the heavy ones are made of leather, right? And the plastic or paper ones are very light, so you can tell the difference right away by tipping the shoes. I design custom camo base for specific. You design camo, really? Yeah, Ditch Doc says he does the same thing with blankets for wool. Although, I tell you, I get tricked all the time for acrylic, but I'm getting better at it. Like this is coming up in a, I'm gonna do a shill spill, but I got this at Goodwill. I knew this was wool. This is a pretty good indicator too. A lot of the like 60s and 70s ones had this kind of satin lip on it. But if they're not tagged, I always will look for a for moth holes. So I'll hold it up and look for holes in it, and you can see moth holes where the moths have gotten to it. So if it's not tagged, that's the only way that I'll get it is. But this one's pretty scratchy, so I kind of knew right away. And it lets off a certain kind of lint too that you can recognize after a while. But this was a good one. I paid $12 for this guy at a Salvation Army. It's like my 10th wool blanket this year. Dollar store, thrift store pot for making wax and oil. Yeah, yeah. Don't use your cooking pots because you won't be able to clean them. Civvy Prep, he's only been thrifting once. Dude, you got to get out there. My Goodwill outlet is up to $1.99 per pound, and they pre-sort so you don't even get access to the good stuff. I know. That pisses me off. When they pre-sort it and then they put it on like a vintage rack. It's like, you sons of mothers. What's the deal with a ring on your index finger? Do you just like it, or does it have a dual purpose? I just like it. I made it myself out of a castle nut, and then I drilled it and then filed it out, and I made it too thin. So I had my friend put some knobs in there with a TIG welder to size it down. So it's actually pretty painful to wear, but it's a reminder of my fabricator kind of blue collar roots, and I get a lot of compliments, so I like it. Grisham says thrift stores here in my neighborhood are worthless. I've heard that about in Europe. I've heard that about European thrift stores, that they're not that great, that it's a different setup over there. $2.19 at the Goodwill outlet near me. Wow. How dare you, Civvy Prep. I don't know about clothes, but they sell books by the inch. Are you serious? Blue on the brain. Yeah, no worries, man. I used to wear like a more rings, like a poser biker. But most days I'll default down to one paracord bracelet and then that ring. It's kind of my default. I'm the king of his castle. Yeah, I am the king of my castle nut. What time is it? 3:30. Even in Ohio, mine are not great. Not sure why, or maybe I just don't know the schedule for the right ones to go to. Yeah, I keep hearing that, and it's possible that I'm spoiled in the Northwest, but we have a lot of thrift stores here. Yeah, I think consistency is the key, but I remember when I lived in Great Falls, it was true. The thrift stores there really sucked. Like they were not good at all. The Salvation Army near the base I was at was really, really bad. So I guess that can be true of some areas. Ditch Doc says that could be the secret 68% or decoder ring. Yeah, there's like numbers on each side. It's like you got to turn it to maybe our secret symbol. What was I going to talk about? When I was living in Chattanooga, they had amazing Goodwills. It's all about the area. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the city near me is like a mid-sized city. It's got like 500,000 people, I think. Grish says that ring is the last part for the doomsday weapon to be completed. Backroads official says the only good thrift stores are the small ones. The corporate ones are not about helping people. Yeah. AI DEFCON levels. It's going to be a whole thing now. Yeah, Backroads. In fact, the Value Village where I live, I think Value Village as a whole got sued because they were presenting themselves as a nonprofit when they're not. They're strictly for profit. They take donations and then they just make profit. Where Goodwill is an actual nonprofit. So they got sued and now they have to tell you that they partner with nonprofits, but they themselves are not a nonprofit. It was pretty deceptive. JW Regan says, I do flea markets and thrift stores. I see a lot of the same people and resellers who make it hard to find good stuff. I know there's a lot of people that resell now. It's much harder to find the good stuff. You have to know, yeah. You got to know where to go, and you got to be pretty consistent with it too. Robert says the air quality in Washington State is foul. I don't know what to tell you, man. Human only. What was the other business idea we had? The human only one. Oh, and then the. Or was it fine? Yeah, I think that's what it was, right? Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, Dude Ranch, or Woods Experience. You know what else I think is going to become popular? The more techie we get, is like a default back to like religious sects, like not sects, like monasteries, I think, or like cultish clubs. You remember like secret societies? There were, like back in the 1900s, there were 1,000 different secret societies, like these clubs, these men's clubs. And so I think those are going to make a comeback. The more disconnected we get. Civi Prep, yeah, wilderness retreats, that's what it was. Civi Prep says, did I hear the story about the 100 remains? And that, yeah, I did. That's pretty gross. Wyoming says, question for the room. My wife looks like a supermodel and recently got a good sized scar on her thigh. Any ideas on how to make her forget about it? What? I don't know. Pants? Get a tattoo over it, Wyoming. Have her get a tattoo over it. Yeah, Buschenmacher, tattoo. Good. Analog Airbnb. Yeah. Although I heard Airbnbs are losing money right now, so I don't know why that would be. I've got a Benedictine monastery near me. Do I really? My old lady owns a thrift store. Resellers came through a lot, but she gets military surplus tools, cookware, camping gear, lawnmowers. That'd be great. Like if you owned a thrift store, you could get all the preps for free. That'd be nice. Ditch Doc says pictures or it's not true. Ditch Doc, I've seen a picture. It's true. Yeah, I would go with a tattoo. Tattoo of a compass to beat big. Ditch Doc says that's called camping. Yeah. We were in a dangerous county. We both took some shrapnel. Dangerous country. Oh, I thought you said dangerous county. I was like, what county is that? Like Cook County? 3 of 7 Project had a video that might interest me. Okay. Yeah, I like 3 of 7. I like how he can sit in his car, do a video, and it gets like 100,000 views. 3 of 7 AI. My daughter is currently sorting coins. I have her looking for junk silver. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Get your kids involved. Ouch. All right, folks, I think I'm going to jump off. It's been 68 minutes, 69 minutes. Wyoming says LDS tattoos are not a choice. I don't know, man. Back to Basics books are great. I've acquired 2 variations. Back to Basics. Anybody wanting to learn about living without modern tech? Back to Basics. I know you're into pennies. Can you actually scrap them? I haven't, but Grisham says a lobotomy. Yeah, that thing from Men in Black, like make her forget. No, she'll still see the scar, huh? If not, who's going to give you the 3 cents? I don't know. I hate to admit it, but she's a little vain about her looks, but I love her. What if she's on here, Wyoming? Gonna tattoo the entire New Testament on my back? Oh my God, that's gonna take, how much is that gonna cost? That's gonna be like $10,000. Girl Carpenter's in here. Guys, share Mike Tango Whiskey with your friends. Let's get him to 25. Oh yeah, how close am I to 25K? I think I'm not even at 24 right now. Let's see. 23,778. My subs have kind of tanked in the past couple weeks, but I'm trying to get my numbers back up. Must be a big back. You can't scrap money. It's a felony to destroy money. Yep. Yep. All right, everybody. I'm going to jump off. I have to shoot like 3 more videos tonight. I might get 1 or 2 done, but I haven't seen my wife for like an hour, so she's going to be looking for me. Love the channel. Blue on the brain. Thank you, man. Broad-shouldered. Carpentry, that doesn't need nails or screws. Does well in poor areas. Good luck on the video. Thanks, Grish. Time to sleep. Yep. Got to get a bigger back, like get a Dorian Yates back to get the New Testament tattooed on there. Brad, see you later. Thank you. Carol, appreciate you, Carol. Thank you. Jacoby, appreciate everybody dropping in. That's it. It's over. Go home. I'll see you guys later.